Am I the a-hole for digging to find out the reason my parents divorce and hate each other so much? I, 16 male, have grown up with parents who can't stand each other. They did their best to keep it from me and my sister, 15 female, but there were times it slipped. It happened a couple of times when my dad would bring his girlfriend Anya along to events for me and or my sister, and my mom would be bursting with anger. She was never able to hide how much it bothered her that Anya was present, and she's with Dad for over 3 years before she started coming or playing any kind of role in our lives. It would piss Dad off when Mom was rude to Anya or just overall looking hostile. The other time was when our dad and stepdad were in the same space at the wrong time. One time, even though they probably thought we couldn't see, we saw the two of them screaming at each other. And my dad walked away, but I honestly thought he was going to punch my stepdad. Me and my sister never knew the reason for the divorce. We just knew that our parents would pretend things were civil. And Dad never spoke badly about Mom or our stepdad, and our mom didn't much, but it happened once or twice. After that fight where I thought Dad would hit my stepdad, I started to really question what was going on. So I asked around. I asked so many family members and family friends until I found out my mom and stepdad had an affair, and it was going on for long enough that Dad had to DNA test me and my sister. We're his, but there was bad blood. Mom wanted our stepdad to be seen as equal dad, and he wanted the same, but she hated that me and my sister liked Anya and really gave her and Dad hell for us liking Anya so much. I always promised my sister I'd tell her if I found out what happened, and I told her. We were both really angry, and we told Dad we knew first. We talked to him and he still wouldn't say much, but he said he wanted us to be happy, even if he had to tolerate certain things. We confronted Mom after that, and she was furious and demanded to know who told me. I told her I asked around a lot of people, and I wouldn't tell her who actually spilled. She told us we couldn't let this change anything, because her and my stepdad are our parents and will always be. And he's a good man who loves us as his own, and we better not pull any nonsense over this. She said it has nothing to do with us. I told her it did, when we had to be DNA tested and when we didn't get to have a happy family. I told her she was the cheater and she created the awful environment for us, and our stepdad helped her. My stepdad came home when we were still talking, and he was so fast to blame Dad, but I told him it wasn't Dad, and that he had no right to be mad at Dad when he tried to take his whole family from him. I got into trouble for saying it, but I'm calling it like I see it. Even as a kid, I knew he would try to come up with stuff to make us ask Dad to spend less time with him. He'd offer to take me to a game, or he'd be planning a camping trip or other stuff. My mom has this issue now with the fact I asked around like I did. She told me I should have minded my own business because I made everything worse. She asked me what I gained, and I told her I gained better respect for Dad and the ability to see through her and my stepdad. We told her and our stepdad we wanted to live with Dad full time. No more 50-50. My mom said no. But when my stepdad realized he wasn't going to have a good relationship with us anymore, he told Mom to let us go because it would only upset our half-siblings to live like that. Now we live with Dad and Mom's angrier that I dug like I did. She told me I ruined our family and destroyed everything. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. I really feel bad for your dad, although it sounds like he won by having the two of you come live with him. Sounds like he was attempting to be more civil than your mom and stepdad were. You were bound to find out eventually. While I don't condone affairs, I realize they happen and they are not the kid's fault. Although kids are often thrown in the middle of the conflict and are deeply affected by it, as you and your sister were and are, hope your mom and stepdad get over their hostility, realize their huge role in breaking up the family, and that they work on repairing the relationship with you and your sister. But if they don't, move on from them. Sounds like you have a father that really loves you. He did try, and I think he did his best given the circumstances. The person who told me said my stepdad loved to gloat to Dad whenever he would do something with me or my sister or the two of us together. That made me sad for Dad. OP, your mother's character was revealed to you in so many ways. My 3 kids know their mother was a cheater, but like your dad, I've never said one bad thing about their mother. In fact, I've encouraged them to have a good relationship with her. Unfortunately, one of them is no contact with her, while the other 2 are low contact. They are all in their 30s now. Very sad that hundreds of choices she made have consequences and accountability tied to them. I wish you well navigating this situation. It was in my stepdad's too. After learning everything about their affair and what came after, it made me lose all respect I had for them, because they have treated my dad and Anya like garbage, and all because they want to be selfish. Next story. Am I the a-hole for not adding the affair partner's birthday as a custody swap day? I, 27 male, have 2 kids, 4 and 3 with my ex-wife, 26 female. She cheated on me and is now married to her affair partner, 35 male. In the custody agreement, our birthdays are considered custody swap days because if I have the kids on my ex's birthday, she gets them. If she has them on mine, I get them. The swap days are our birthdays, Mother's Day, Father's Day, and close family weddings and funerals. Otherwise, she gets the kids for 7 days, and I get them for 7 days. Any other swap days we add are at our discretion and will not be added to a court order. This includes if we later have more kids with other people, step-parents, step-relative weddings, funerals, and such. My ex and her affair partner want his birthday to be a swap day too. They argue it's only fair because he will be their second dad, and they won't remember a time without him. She even argued that it would be petty on my part to reject his birthday as a swap day. But I did reject it. I told her he was not getting his birthday, and my mind was made up. The affair partner told me I must be a crappy dad to deny the kids his birthday, and I told him if that makes me a crappy dad, it definitely make him a crappy stepdad to be the other person in their parents' marriage, and the person who helped end their family. My ex formally wrote out the request to add the day when I said no verbally. I wrote out my rejection again. My attorney has noted both her asking and me rejecting, and he told me I'll be fine. He did have to write to my ex's attorney, who requested we reconsider, because they would start a parental alienation case against me if I did not reconsider. My attorney's response was that they should be careful too, because we have evidence that they have tried to buy me off and get me to drop out of my kids' lives, and let the affair partner adopt them. Things were silent after this, but my ex brought it up during an exchange, and she told me I'm a selfish SOB for not adding her affair partner's birthday to the swap list. Am I the a-hole? At exchange, do not talk to her. Do not engage or anything. Be sure and document what she just said to you at exchange. If it comes to someone else getting the kids her due, exchange at a police department. I hope you are using a parenting app like Our Family Wizard or Talking Parents. If not, tell your attorney. All communication goes through it and the court can see. They are setting the table to cause problems for you. When your kids get home, if they start saying stuff out of the ordinary, you document. You need to look at her like the enemy she is. This, I was also going to add, telling them that if they continue to discuss custody issues or verbally assault you during exchange, you will move the exchanges to a public location. Also, depending on the laws in your state, have a recording going during your exchanges. If it is not in your parenting plan, add that your ex-wife does not speak badly of you, nor let anyone else in front of your children. That would be considered parental alienation. Not the a-hole. They are trying to make him the replacement dad and want you out of the picture. Keep your kids as much as you can and cherish every moment. Don't let court threats make you surrender your time with your kids. Not giving up time with your kids for a non-parent's birthday isn't parental alienation, as the stepdad is not a parent. You are under no obligation to foster a loving relationship between your kids and your ex's new husband. You can't and shouldn't badmouth them because that hurts and confuses the kids. But as for everything else, you have no legal or moral obligation to bow out of the picture, so this delusional ex-wife of yours can have a new family. Sorry you are going through this. Next time stepdad goes off on you, just tell him, "Buddy, I don't care what you think. She is a known cheater and liar, and I won't walk away from my kids no matter how much that bothers you. Now go home to your lying, cheating wife and live your life." He's shacked up with a liar and cheater and has no idea he's got the short end of the stick. I've worked with a therapist to learn how to handle my kids talking about my ex and her affair partner. I have been preparing for the day my kids might say how cool he is or even express love for him. That way, if it happens, I'm ready. and I'm learning how to ask questions without making them sound negatively skewed. I want to be the dad who put my kids first, even if it might make me die a little inside if they get close to him. Next story. Am I the a-hole for refusing to do free work for my kid's stepfather? I'm an electrician and a union member. My ex and I share custody of our 3 kids. Things are okay now, but the divorce last year was rough. She got remarried in August to a guy after dating for 6 months. Let's call him Brad. Here where the issue kinda starts. A few weeks ago, Brad was at my daughter's volleyball game saying stuff about how real tradesmen don't need to be in a union. He said this right in front of me, and I was wearing a shirt with my union logo on it. He works in the trades too, but just does small non-union IT or data network jobs. I stayed calm and didn't bite. He is self-employed and I know barely makes a profit. My license also allows me to do all of his kind of work at my pay rate. This morning my ex called me out of the blue. She said a panel at one of Brad's jobs needed some work and asked if I could just swing by to check it out. She said, "You'd only need your tools for a few minutes. Just a quick favor. It's not a big deal. And you would be technically working for Brad." So when my ex asked for a quick favor, I told her, I charge everyone the same rate, and per union rules, I can't just do a side job. It's gotta be done under my shop. She said, "You're really gonna force this issue with my husband?" I told her, he can just have his own subcontractors, or step up, and by paying me like everyone else does. Now she's saying I'm being petty and creating tension, claiming that I'm just making a stink because he lives with the kids. I told her that professionalism isn't petty and that I don't give free labor to people who disrespect my trade. So, am I the a-hole for refusing to do free work for my ex's husband, even though it might make things awkward for my co-parenting relationship? Not the a-hole. I don't know if you can get into trouble for non-contracted job, but it sounds like maybe you could. You're not being petty. You're expecting to be paid for your work. Maybe you'd be willing to do her a favor if your kids were affected, but this has nothing to do with them. If she asked me to look at her own home panel, I'd be willing, because of the kids. Not the a-hole. If he were a real man, he would have called you himself, instead having his wife beg for a favor. That would be my response. Phrase it exactly like he did, but with this concept in a message directly to him. This is more of a karma-based situation, and it's hilarious. My next union shirt printed would say, "So good, your wife calls me for favors. You're not the a-hole, brother. Enjoy that stupidity." Yeah, now I gotta make this shirt. I have a shirt that says, "I'm a mechanic." That means I'm the guy your wife calls when you can't bust a nut. It triggers so many dudes. Last story. Am I the a-hole for getting my niece to move in with me, then charging her rent? A few months ago, my 20-year-old niece Charlotte called me saying she was kicked out after an argument with her mom. She was saying that she was already paying $500 per month, and they were asking her to pay another $300, while not charging her siblings anything. I called her parents to get their side of the story. My brother immediately said to send her back because his wife didn't mean it when she told Charlotte to get out. After a while, he did confirm what Charlotte said about having to pay, but tried to justify it by saying she could afford it because she was working and that their car insurance went up because she was in a car accident. So minor that there was no damage to her car, and you had to zoom in to see the scratch on the other car, ignoring the fact that all of their kids had been in accidents, including one of them totaling their car and causing significant damage to 2 others, and then being given a new car 2 weeks later. I told Charlotte that she was welcome to live with me and the girls, so we went back to her parents' house, packed her stuff, got her important documents, returned her car, and took her back to my house. I got her a bank account that's only in her name, loaned her money to buy a newish car, and helped her enroll in community college. She's studying early childhood education, teaches a mommy and me class once a week, and she babysits 2 to 4 days a week. Before she agreed to move in, I told her she was going to help contribute, but nothing like her parents. She pays me $250 per month in rent. This goes into an account that's only will be saved and invested for her. She has access to the account. She also pays $100 per month for groceries. She gets $50 per month from the school for groceries, so she really only pays $50. I split her car insurance with her, which on her new plan comes out to $170 per month. Her share is $85. I loaned her $4,500 for her car, so she's paying me $150 per month to pay that off. Gas is around $80 per month, but she gets another $50 per month from school, so for now it's $30. Then we talked about how much she makes from her class and babysitting, how many hours per month she needs to work to cover her expenses, and how much she should work so she can have spending money, and money put aside in case she has a bad month. Charlotte still speaks to her siblings and was talking about living with me, paying for herself, and learning how to budget. Now her parents are furious that I convinced her to move out over paying rent when I'm having her do the same thing. Am I the a-hole for having her pay rent and other expenses? Info: did you explain to your brother in the same level of detail as you've done here? I could imagine if they just heard that you're charging rent with no additional context. It might seem like you're trying to undermine them, but if they understand all that and still just want to profit, that's different. I tried. They still think it's the same thing, and that I'm using her for extra income and free babysitting since I'm a single mom. I'd say not the a-hole, because it sounds like you're doing this all with her interests in mind and saving for her, while also making sure the extra person in the house doesn't make too significant of a financial dent on your part. Whereas her parents seem to just be doing it to get the money from her and cover her siblings' mistakes. Charlotte's lucky to have you. It's less about making sure she doesn't cause financial strain and more about teaching her to budget, pay bills, etc. It's like adulting with training wheels. Not the a-hole. Unless I'm missing something, I think you're teaching her some really valuable financial literacy. It seems like her parents have a problem with favoritism, and you should let them know that. I've tried. They either refuse to see it or refuse to admit it. Just ask them one thing: how much is in the savings account in which they put her rent money? That should shut them up, since then they realize you are not charging rent, you are teaching her how to save.